All right, welcome. Week 1, day 1. I am Shayla Lanier and I will be your instructor. So how this works is every Monday you'll get a video like this. I try to keep them 5 minutes or less. Sometimes I get a little chatty. And then you will do the reading, do the assignment. You can reach out to me. My personal cell phone number is in the syllabus. If you have an issue and you need a response sooner than 24 or 48 hours, text me, call me. I am 50. I do ask that you constrain that between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. But text or call me because I'm here to help you. I want you to learn about this government of ours. So here we go. This week is big. So the 10-week class, what they've done is what I've done is taken my 16-week class and condensed it. So some weeks are going to feel a little intense. My recommendation is that you devote 30 minutes every single day, starting today, to class. Sometimes when you get to the weekend, you'll be done. Sometimes when you get to the weekend, you'll still have more to do, but it's not an overwhelming amount. So set a timer and then put your phone away and devote 30 focus minutes to class every day. I recommend that you consume news. It does not do us any good to study how the American government is supposed to function if we don't know how it's functioning. So I recommend that you pick a liberal news source and a conservative news source, and that you consult them every day. I recommend you pick reputable news sources and you go to these news source websites. So like if you pick Newsmax, you go to newsmax.com. If you pick the Drudge Report, you go to drudgereport.com. Fox News, foxnews.com. CNN, cnn.com, and so on. Because you need to go, I don't want you just feeding off of these fabulous TikTok sound bites. I want you to go to the sources themselves as much as possible. And so this week, you're reading chapter 1 and chapter 3. Our textbook is linked in the syllabus. It is the OpenStax American Government 3rd edition. It is linked in the syllabus. It is available online for free. If you want a copy, there's a little thing when you first pull it up that says buy a book. And so you can do that. It's about $40. I have a book because, again, I'm 50. I read books. I don't do them on my phone. It gives me a headache. All right. So, and I like pages. I like print. I read books. But it is all available online. And the online copy of the text is interesting because it has videos that are linked they're helpful. So that's my plug for the book. Everything that you need will be linked, whether it's in the syllabus or in the assignments themselves. Everything you need for this class will be linked and will be free. So there you go. I recommend that you do the reading. We have a midterm in this class and we have a final exam. So make sure you're doing the reading. The midterm and the final are pulled largely from the reading. Okay, so this week you're going to read chapter 1 and then you're going to complete the following assignment. You're going to find out if you live in a city, when does your city council meet? If you live in the boondocks, when do your county commissioners meet? I live in Montezuma County. We have county commissioners. So if I were doing this assignment, I would find out when do they meet. Our county commissioners also do these pop-up coffee with the county meetings where they go and meet the constituents and talk about issues. Solar is a huge fight and issue here where I live. So you work through the questions there. And then there's also a little extra credit opportunity with that. Also, you're going to look at Trump's cabinet. So his cabinet is linked in the assignment. You're going to find out a news article that highlights one of these cabinet members. So what you do is you go to the cabinet, then you Google the name of the cabinet member and stuff's going to pop up, right? So that's what you do. Then you're going to read chapter 3 of our text and the Northwest Ordinance. So why do we read the Northwest Ordinance? What you will see in this class is it is peppered with primary source documents. That's because, take the Civil War for an example. With the movement for the abolition of slavery really gained traction when people with firsthand experience as slaves, such as Frederick Douglass, started writing about the experience. Primary sources have emotion and rawness to them that the more refined secondary sources do not. So we get our hands dirty with some primary sources in here. This week's is the Northwest Ordinance. That became law in July of 1787. And that was, okay, we're gonna go west. How do we want to govern these lands as we go west? So that was the governing document at that time over Western lands. And so then you're going to answer some questions about federalism and the Northwest Ordinance, and you're going to give your opinion. All right, so that is the week. Welcome. Please reach out to me with questions. If you need an immediate response, you must text me or call me. I'm not always available so much for calls. I always have tons going, but I'm pretty good with texting. All right. Also this week, and throughout this class, I do try to do something that's not very popular. I want you to limit your social media time and just really devote to the study of this. As you go along, I think you'll see why it's important to study this. You don't have to give up social media completely. Although, if the reading gets intense, if you find yourself falling behind, then I recommend you ditch it, if possible. All right, so reach out with questions. You can also reach out with complaints. I always get a few, but for the most part, people enjoy this class, and I hope you do too. Welcome, and have a great first week.